So how do you get high quality leads from Facebook ads when you're selling your high ticket product or service? I get asked this almost on a daily basis, and the answer is super simple, is to make sure you've got a simple funnel that makes sure that the wrong people can't get through to your sales team. So let me explain how this works and how this can work for your business so you can install it yourself and you can start generating qualified leads for yourself. So when you're trying to generate high quality leads from Facebook ads, there's a few key things that need to happen. And what most people do is they basically run Facebook ads, and they want as many people, because they're spending money on Facebook ads, as many people as possible to actually just have a call with the sales team. So they drive traffic straight over to the calendar booking page, and then those people actually have a sales call with your sales team. And then lo and behold, the close rate is terrible. People no show. They are not pre-sold or pre-warmed up before they even have the sales call. They weren't even aware about the sales call, and it's just an absolute complete mess because you're basically just wasting your sales team's time on these calls. So how do we actually combat that, and what do we need to do to make sure that these people who do actually book on the sales call are pre-sold, pre-warmed, nurtured, and basically making the sales team's job incredibly easy, which increases the conversion rate, which makes more revenue for the business, which is the ultimate goal of running the Facebook ads. So there needs to be friction here before they actually book a sales call. So I'm going to walk through how that would actually look like. And just so we're all on the same page, what I'm going to be walking through is actually creating a video sales letter funnel. So instead of just directing people straight over to a calendar page like this, what we're going to do is add a step before that and then a step after that. So the step before actually getting people over to a calendar booking page is what's called getting people over to a video sales letter page or a sales page, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially a landing page with a headline about your offer, and then usually a subheading, and then a video here explaining about what the offer is and then why you should actually go and book a call. So this video sales letter is essentially selling people to actually go and book a call. So what would typically happen is you would basically have a book a call button, which would then pop up a form, and then if they are qualified, we ask them a series of questions. Only if they're qualified, they can actually go through to the page where they can book a call with your sales team, and then from there, from the point that they've actually booked a call, we then actually take them over to a confirmation page, which is another video just to pre-frame, pre-sell the call, handle any more objections that you may not have been able to fit in on this first video. And it really helps people actually show up to the call. So you can see the difference already from if you were to just basically run a Facebook ad straight over to a calendar booking page. There has been absolutely no friction in the process whatsoever. And you're basically just letting anyone on your sales team's calendar, which you really don't want. So how do we actually go and create this funnel? So this is what we do for our clients day in and day out, and essentially it is split into 4 key parts, and this looks kind of complicated, and I'm going to walk through it step by step. So essentially you've got your offer, which is what you're going to explain on the video sales letter. Then we need to actually go and qualify people in or qualify people out, and then we want to go and nurture people. And then that is when you do the selling further on down the funnel. So you can see at the top of the funnel here, which is more so you've got your traffic, and then you've got directing people over to the sales page. Then you've got sort of middle of the funnel here where we're sort of qualifying people in or qualifying people out. And then towards the bottom here, we've got nurture and sell. So this is where we're actually doing the job, making the sales team's job very easy. So all the salesperson has to do on that call is actually go and sell. So there is a bunch of different ways to actually set up a funnel like this, and I'm just going to walk you through one very simple example. So let's say we had the Facebook ads traffic here, and all we need to do is basically direct people over to a landing page. Now a landing page is what I basically just showed you over there, if you don't know already, but essentially it's just a landing page where in this case what we're going to be talking about is having a video sales letter on there. So something where we can actually just explain within usually 5 to 10 minutes if it's B2B. If it's B2C, it's slightly longer. It could be sort of around 20 to 30 minutes explaining why they should actually go and buy your product or book a call, depending on what sort of flow you've got. In this case, this was a book a call funnel. So essentially all we're doing is basically driving that traffic over to the landing page, showing them the video sales letter, and then you're basically here to make sure you've got high quality leads. This is absolutely key here, and we're going to spend a bit of time speaking about this, is the application form. Now, the application form is super simple. Essentially, what this means is you're just going to ask a series of questions, and you're going to basically ask a series of questions that determines, okay, is this the right person for the offer? Yes or no? And if the person is the right person for the offer and they are qualified, they get routed down this qualified path here. So essentially what this application form is doing, it's like the bouncer at the door and you're trying to get into the nightclub and then they say yes or no. This is essentially what this application form is doing. Now, what we're going to be doing here is basically driving those people who are qualified over to a schedule page, just like I was showing you just then, where someone can actually go and book a time to go and speak with your sales team. On the schedule page, they get taken over to actually go and book a call. So once they actually go and book a call, they then get taken over to the confirmation page. Now, most people, what they do is they just stop here. So they just let people book a call, and then you basically wait from whenever they book the call up until actually having the call. They don't hear anything from the business that they've just booked a call with. And the likelihood is most people have forgotten about what the offer was. They've forgotten about who you are. They've forgotten about what the business was. And I guarantee if you've actually run a Facebook ad before and you've not had something in place like this, where something else actually happens after the call, they've probably forgot even who you are and like when the time of the call was. So it's absolutely paramount that when you have basically got someone, you've done the hard yards to actually go and book a call with you and your team, you take them over to a confirmation page. Now, the confirmation page is not just another chance for you to say, hey, go and show up to the call. It's another chance for you to actually introduce yourself in a bit more detail, explain like who you are, what your business does, pre-sell the call, pre-sell your offer, and actually just warm people up to actually make sure that, one, they actually show up to the call, and two, they know what to actually expect on the call. Because most people, what they do is they'll just think, okay, we've done the video sales letter. People are going to remember that. They don't care about you. They don't remember anything. And what we're doing here is basically just pre-framing what is actually going to happen on the call and what happens next. So even on this confirmation page here, you will be explaining that, look, you are going to receive a series of emails between now and when we next have a call. And guess what? In these emails, we're going to be explaining what happens on the call. We're going to be maybe explaining some case studies. We're going to maybe handle all the common objections that you have and you've encountered on a weekly basis when you've actually run sales calls before, whatever your objections your sales team always speaks about. You're going to handle all these in the emails. You're going to explain to them like what the offer is in a bit more detail. You might even explain what the prices are and the different pricing options. So when they actually jump on the sales call, they know what to expect and they're educated on you and your business. So then it makes the sales team's job incredibly easy when they do have a sales call, because they've actually just gone through this whole entire process. So not only have they just listened to your video sales letter, not only have they just actually gone through an application form, qualified themselves in, and then booked a call, and then watched the confirmation video on the confirmation page, and then received a series of emails, and then they've jumped on the sales call. Your sales team's job is going to be a lot easier because they've gone through the nurture process. And what smart business owners do as well, so in these emails here, and on this confirmation page, you will actually route them all the way back. So before the sales call, you would route them all the way back to some of your organic content. So essentially this could be your traffic. So this could be your YouTube. This could be to go and watch some other case studies from other client testimonials that you've got. You basically want to route them after this confirmation page to go and show them exactly what you want them to see before the sales call. So yeah, you might show them a particular case study where, you've just helped someone who looked exactly like them. So all we're doing here is basically trying to nurture them as much as possible. So then you're bridging that gap between them being absolutely cold and not knowing you, and you're basically building up all this amount of trust throughout the days or throughout the hours between now and when you actually have a sales call with them. So hopefully that all kind of makes sense. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what do we do with the unqualified leads? So most people, what you can do is just avoid them. So you just basically cut it off and just don't route them anywhere. But in most cases, what you're going to have when you're running paid ads is you're going to have something that is a bit more lower price point for those leads who were not qualified. So for example, let's go through the qualification questions on the application form. So these are just a couple of examples just for me to show you. So on that VSL, when someone clicks on the apply now button or book a call button, you'll be asking a series of questions, which let me show you what that would actually look like. So let's say you bounce onto this page here, you click book a call, and before you book a call, what we do is we ask them a series of questions here. So you might ask for their website and things like that, but what we're really wanting to know, we're not just asking questions for the sake of it. We're obviously going to ask for their name and email, etc., to send them details, but what we're really asking is, okay, is this person actually qualified for your product or for your service? Are they worth even speaking to? Are they worth even booking a call? So for example, let's say you own a service-based business and you only work with businesses that are and you're in the B2B space and you only work with businesses that have a monthly revenue of $10,000 plus. So you can see this question here. If someone clicked on the form and we asked them, hey, what's your revenue? And if they clicked $0 to $10,000 per month, then that means that they are unqualified. So then we take them away and we take them over to a downsell page. And I'm going to explain what a downsell page is in a second, but just in case you don't already know, and how this works with conditional logic is it basically routes people to the page that you want them to go and see. So for example, if someone's only making say $5,000 per month, and I typically work with people who are earning around $50,000 per month, I don't want to show them a sales call page. I don't want to work with those people, but I might actually have something that is lower ticket or lower price point that I can offer those people, so I can still sell to them. They're just not suitable for this particular offer that I usually work with people who are making $10,000 per month and they require a sales call. Maybe I can sell them a digital product. Maybe I can put them into a community or a free community. Maybe I can offer them a consulting session or a consulting call, whatever it may be. If you've got something to sell them, take them over to that page, and then when they're ready, they'll be able to book a call. And when they do become qualified, they'll be able to schedule a call with you, but they're just not ready right now. So how that would actually work in the funnel, and I'll go through the other questions in a second, is let's say they bounce on the page, on the landing page, they go through the video sales letter. Now they clicked on the application button and they said, look, I'm only generating $5,000 per month. So they click that $0 to $10,000 per month revenue. Now what we want to do is capitalize on all these leads. Like essentially, you've just paid Facebook, so you've got your traffic here. You've just paid Facebook for this lead to actually go and bounce on this page on the video sales letter. They've clicked a button. And right, okay, now they're unqualified. And believe me, a lot of leads that you do generate will be unqualified. Now, what you can do is add them to your newsletter for a start, which is always good to do. And then, you know, because they're clearly interested in your product or service, but they're just not qualified. Now we take them over to the downsell page. So this is what I was talking about. So if someone's unqualified, can you sell them something where it may be a one-on-one consulting session, or it could be a digital product, or it literally could be anything. It's just not your core offering, which is over here. We'd be taking them over here, but what we're doing is we're taking them down to this section here. So this could be, say, book a call or sell a product, and then the same sort of flow would happen. So we could take them over to a confirmation page, or you could just basically stop it there. And then, you know, if you're going to sell like a $97 product, it would just be a checkout page rather than a confirmation page. So you get the idea. And the whole point of this is to make sure that you're not wasting your time. You're only generating qualified sales calls. So essentially, you might have different questions like, are you ready to invest? If they're not, then take them to the downsell page. You know, which best describes you. If you only work with online businesses and not brick and mortar businesses, you would take those brick and mortar businesses down over to the downsell page. So how else do we make sure that we are generating only qualified leads? And without getting too techie here, what we need to do is condition the Facebook pixel. So what we don't want to do is actually send Meta the information of all these people who are not qualified, and we don't want to be firing the pixel on this with these leads and on this page here. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we're only firing the pixel. So let's say we're running the Facebook ads and people are actually qualified on this page, then we only put the pixel on this page, on the schedule page, and we only put the pixel on the confirmation page, and we only send that information back to Meta, and we say to Meta, hey, you know, go and find us more people like this, because these people actually were qualified and they booked a call, and this person actually went and scheduled a call with us. So we had a schedule event there with the pixel. So what we don't want to do is put the pixel on all the pages here on with the unqualified leads and on the people who are not qualified, because that's not what we're optimizing for. We're not optimizing for unqualified leads just because they're cheap and they're cheap leads. but these leads are not very good. We're optimizing for people who are actually qualified to go and work with us. So that's the only information that we send back to Meta. So how that would actually look like is you've got your Meta ads, you've got your VSL page. Now you've got your disqualified VSL page and your disqualified schedule page and your disqualified confirmation page, but you just wouldn't fire the pixel on this page. So you just wouldn't put the pixel on there. But vice versa, if someone is qualified and you've got the qualified pages, so where people are actually, your ideal clients, you would put the pixel with the schedule page and the confirmation page. And without getting into too much detail, you would be able to fire the conversions API to make sure that data is getting sent back to Facebook. So you can basically say, hey, go and find more people like this. And if you do want some support with creating a funnel just like this yourself, click the first link in the description and you'll be able to see how I might be able to help you. I will see you on the next one. Peace.